All right, and welcome to case study number 31 of this series, so brilliantly titled Kirk's 40 Case Study Closings. I'm your host, Ryan Kirk, and these case studies, they range from vacant lots to custom luxury homes and total $2,042,081.71 in profits and equity without having to personally go see the property on some. With no cash, no credit of my own. It varies, and I'll explain. And I do it all with Flip Logic and 1-888 cash offer. Now let's get into number 31 of the 40 case studies. And that brings us to 5436 Honors Drive in San Diego, California. This is actually very close to La Jolla, right near UCSD, if you know it. And wow, look at the orange shag carpet on the right. Am I right? This place is all original. If you look on the left, the roof still looks in good shape. And it was. So this was off market, probate, no court confirmation. Again, to clarify on that, probate is pretty much treated just as a standard sale. I mean, it's just as easy. Take a purchase contract that gets signed by whoever has control of the property or the estate, or whether that's the executor, the administrator, or probate attorney. Somebody on the seller side, they just sign off. You guys open up escrow, and it's just the same process, same procedure. If there is court confirmation involved, it has to go through court, and it's usually subject to overbid. Hopefully nobody goes in on that date to overbid, because then you can lose your position on the contract, which sucks. So that's why it's nice to go with no court confirmation, because as soon as they sign on the dotted line, it's locked in. So this was referred to us by a probate attorney. So again, if you can network with any probate attorneys, it's definitely a good source of leads, because people are always, kicking the bucket. And when they do, if it's not in a trust, it goes to probate, and then a probate attorney gets hired. And then this probate attorney happened, we got networked with him somehow, I don't remember. But whenever he gets a deal, he'll let us know about the property address and give us a chance to put an offer in on it, so we can, have a shot at doing the deal. And he knows that we move quickly, because we do all of these. If you look at the offer terms, we do all these with a 10-day inspection, 14-day close. Buyer pays all closing costs except any commissions, which they save themselves, because he doesn't use a realtor on these transactions. So this place, as you can see, completely cosmetic. Roof looks like it's in good shape. Seller wanted speed, certainty, convenience, wanted to get it moved, as most probate sellers want. They just want to liquidate the property and get rid of it. So the ARV on this was $780. The repairs came out to $40 a square foot, which is on the high end in these higher ARVs, below $1 million, right? So $35 to $40 a square foot, it's like awful. That's on the high end. Middle of the road would be, $25 a square foot, 25 really. And then on your cosmetic, carpet and paint, that could be anywhere from, and flooring, of course, you could be anywhere around, $15 a square foot, possibly less, right? And if you're in lower ARV markets, again, like 200,000 and below, you could be, for middle of the road like this, $15 on the high end, maybe $20 a square foot. You'll kind of get a feeling as you do some deals in your market, because the investors, cash buyers who walk through, they're going to give you feedback whether the numbers are too low or if they're just right. In this case, why, you're probably wondering, well, if middle of the road is $25 a square foot in my market, why did we put it at 40? That's a great question. We probably did put it at 25 a square foot, and then the feedback that we got was going to be 40 a square foot. And I couldn't tell you exactly why. I don't think they had to reconfigure the floor plan or anything. They may have just gone with higher end finishes, and maybe it was just more expensive for these guys to get it done, because maybe it was, now that I remember, they're more of a mom and pop. I don't think they were doing as much volume as some other rehabbers do. So maybe that's why their expenses were high. Or maybe we just fell for it, and we they said it was going to cost them 40. We probably tried to challenge them a little bit on that. Maybe that's really what it was, and they explained why. Maybe something else had come up, and so anyways, that's where it was. So we got the seller to agree to 572. And again, if you ever get put in that position to where your contract, you have it under contract for what all, and it's important you get a few investors over there so you get a couple of different opinions as to what price will work for them. So you can always go back to the seller and ask for a price adjustment. It's not the greatest thing in the world to do, but it's something you can do, as long as, and as in any negotiation, when you go back to ask for something, you give them something, such as you're ready to move forward with no contingencies and close on time or on a specific date. So then that way, when you give them that news, but in order to do that, this is what we had found during our inspection, whatever our costs are going to be more than what we had anticipated, and we need to be at 572 in order to move forward. If not, then we need to cancel. And then typically, 7 times out of 10, sellers they'll work with you. Maybe they won't give you the exact price you asked for. Some will, some won't. They'll challenge you on that, and that's when you can renegotiate that price. So on this, our investor came from our investor actually came from a public record search. As you know, you can do a marketing blast using FlipLogic to an existing list. If you don't have an existing list yet, you can build one. You can do a search, an instant cash buyer search, and do a market. You can call and pitch, or you can do a marketing blast, and then you can add them to your buyers list. So for future blasts, you can just blast to an existing list that you have and that you've built rapport with. You can also look at the surrounding comps, see which ones of those were flips, pull the chain of title, search who the flipper was, reach out to them by phone call, pitch the deal. You can do it that way as well. Our profit on this was $27,000 because we sold it at $599. So if you see $599, if you were to take $599,000, add $60,000 to that, what would that give you? That gives you, I'm pulling my calculator here, $599 plus $60,000. That gives you $659,000. Divide that into the ARV of $780. That gives you 84.5%. So this investor bought this property from us at ARV times 84.5% minus repairs, to kind of give you an idea, as that's another indicator when you're doing an analysis, right? Percentage of the ARV minus repairs. You also have the ROI, which is another indicator, and then you also have the net profit. So that kind of gives you an idea. You may be wondering, gosh, that's really high. And that is, and the reason why is because it's a higher ARV. They get more dollars on their net profit when they do the flip. So that's why, and the ROI was probably somewhere around 10%. And that's pretty common when you start getting, I'd say, above 300,000 on your ARV. It varies a little bit depending on the market, how hot it is, meaning, how little inventory there is, because investors, they're hungry for a deal, and they're hungry for yield, they're hungry for profit. So they're willing to take a smaller ROI, pay a higher percentage of ARV minus repairs, like in this case, 84.5. If you're in a very low ARV market, like 200,000 or less, you're probably going to see investors wanting the property at about 70% of the ARV minus repairs, because their net profit isn't going to be as large, like as in this deal. If you were to plug in the numbers to see what their net profit was on it. So ours was $27,000. That's a good take, right? We did this deal we put it under contract, and we did an assignment to our investor, our cash buyer. They closed all cash, and we got our $27,000 at closing. We didn't have to use a deposit on this, so you would have had to use literally no cash of your own, no credit, because when you put it under contract, again, it's best if you use 5 business days for when the deposit's due. It gives you plenty of lead time to market it, get your investors over to the property, have their due diligence be completed, have them give you a non-contingent price that they're willing to wire a non-refundable deposit on and move forward on. And when you do that within that 7 calendar days or 5 business days, and they wire, you beat your time limit, your time deadline, and you would never have had to put a dollar out of your pocket. So a very good thing. And then as far as having to go see this personally, you wouldn't have to go see it personally. You could have underwritten it all from your desktop based off photos, street view, etc., comps, all of that through FlipLogic. And your investors could have gone through there with access instructions. Maybe there's a back door that's open or a combo lockbox or what have you, because again, there's no owner occupant there for them to fraternize, so you wouldn't have had to go see it personally. And then they would give you the feedback as far as what price that they can move forward on, non-contingent. Always see if you can challenge them and push that price up a little bit. If they tried to, challenge you and push it down, it's natural. Just like you do with the seller, they're going to try to do with you. They're going to try to push the price down. So again, just know your numbers, be solid on that. If they do challenge your price and push that down, always ask them, what is it that they found that would require them or would have them need a price reduction. If they don't have a good answer, then they're full of it, right? And just let them know that that price is firm. If they want it, great. If not, you have other investors looking at it. Do they want to lock it up now, or do they want to lose the deal over whatever they're trying to ask you for? If they're trying to ask for a $5,000 reduction, $10,000 reduction, say, do you really want to lose the deal over $5,000? Do you really want to lose the deal over $10,000? Put it back on them. Give them that fear of loss, right? And that's it. That's it. That's a wrap on this. I hope that was helpful for you. And statistically, only 10% of YouTube videos are watched until the end. So if you're in that 10%, you're a hustler, persistent, determined to succeed, and I wish you much success. So thanks for watching, and I look forward to working with you.